Update. We sat down and talked about this after the kids went to bed and cleared the air. She started off still really adversarial about it, but we eventually got down to the real issue and our disconnect in terms of how we believe gift cards, like mine, can and should be used. First of all, she was irritated with me because she was having a tough day at work and claimed my bringing this up ruined her lunch break as it didn't allow her to relax. I had only brought it up because her lunch breaks are our only chance to talk during the workday, and I had only meant to verify that she knew she had used my gift cards and nothing more. I call her on her lunch break every day, and this topic just happened to come up in conversation. I didn't call specifically to talk about this. She was also irritated because she didn't understand why I would even be mildly annoyed because it just seemed logical to her to use the balance since we were placing the order now versus the money sitting there until I eventually ordered something. She knew I had ordered something already, but didn't know when I'd be using the rest, and neither did I, really. So she figured, why not just use it? She didn't consider it my money anymore once it was in the account and figured I would be fine with ordering whatever and putting it on the credit card. This mostly stems from the fact that she uses her own gift cards, usually Target and Costco, but sometimes Amazon, whether received from work or from family and friends for birthdays and Christmas, for things we need versus things for herself. I wasn't aware of this, mostly because she knew if she told me I would insist she treats herself rather than spend the money on necessities. She assumed I would be okay with using mine in the same manner. In the end, we realized we simply have different thoughts about how gift cards should be used. And in the future, she'll ask first before using any gift card balances, and I'll simply only input them into the account as I use them versus loading them all in at once. Both of those changes together should prevent this from happening again. Best of all, we were able to end the evening on a happy note, no longer irritated at each other. She saw I had the item in the cart I had wanted and placed the order for me. Update 2. We just set up her own Amazon account and linked it to our Prime membership, so this will not be an issue again in the future. It will mainly help keep gifts a surprise when we order things for each other or have the kids pick things for us, but it will also avoid anyone using the other's gift card like this going forward. Original post. I recently celebrated my birthday, and a large portion of my gifts were, by request, Amazon gift cards. I added the balance of each card to our account and ordered an item and had some funds left over. Today, I went to order a few more items only to discover that my gift card balance was $0. I was confused and surprised, and at first thought something had gone wrong. Maybe I ordered more than I meant to with my first purchase. And then I remembered my wife had placed an order for some items for our kids the day before. I checked the order details and sure enough, she used the remainder of my gift cards on those items. It was everyday stuff like mouthwash, toothpaste, deodorant, etc. I asked her if she realized she had used my gift cards for this purchase, and she said yes, and that we might as well, better than paying out of pocket. I expressed annoyance since that money was for my use and not to use towards everyday items, to which she replied, "So just buy what you want and pay out of pocket? It'll all come out even." I understand. If she hadn't used the gift cards, we would have paid for those items out of pocket and we'll end up spending the same amount anyway. Yet something still bothered me about it, mostly because she used the money without informing me, leading to my momentary confusion when I went to place an order. It also just seems somewhat rude to use someone's birthday money for everyday things, especially without telling them first. I wasn't angry, just mildly annoyed, and I asked her in the future not to use my gift cards for her own orders. It's simple enough to uncheck the box that says, "Use gift card balance." And if, as she says, it doesn't matter in the end, then just don't use the gift cards. Call it irrational or illogical, but when I buy something I want but don't exactly need, some aesthetic upgrades for my PC in this case, I feel way more guilty about buying them when it's coming out of pocket versus being covered by a gift card. Again, I realize that it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but mentally it just feels different. And now I feel less inclined to spend the money. I'm the one in the family who always watches our budget and manages the money. So my frugal side is saying to let the gift card cover the stuff we need and skip the stuff I want. But at the same time, I know that's not fair. Meanwhile, my wife is now angry with me for whining and making a big deal out of nothing, when I simply expressed some mild annoyance and asked that I be allowed to use my own money in the future. She's now talking about opening her own bank account and never ordering from Amazon again to avoid this, which A, wouldn't solve anything because a separate bank account has nothing to do with Amazon orders. We use an Amazon credit card, and she obviously doesn't need to stop ordering altogether. Just simply don't use someone else's gift cards going forward. Am I really being unreasonable by making this request? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, no idiots here. I can't see any other gift cards that are specific to a store such as Eddie Bauer, but we have an Amazon credit card and account as well. I put the balance of our birthday gifts on it, and then we just ordered what we wanted when we decided. In the meantime, I did order household stuff, but to me, it all comes out of the same pot. It's not like the gift card got used and you got nothing. Comment 2, you're the idiot. Sounds like you're creating drama for no reason. Your wife is right. The end result is the same regarding how much you spend and how much is put on the gift cards. Get over it. And if it's really that important to you, make sure not to add the cards until you're ready to spend them. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the comments and support on my last post. I really appreciate the feedback and insights you shared. It's been a few days since my wife used my Amazon gift cards without asking, and things have taken a turn for the worse. We sat down to talk about it after the kids went to bed, hoping to clear the air. At first, she was still defensive, claiming that my bringing it up during her lunch break had ruined her chance to relax. I tried to explain that I only mentioned it because it was our only chance to talk during the workday, and I hadn't meant to upset her. As we dug deeper, it became clear that we had different views on how gift cards should be used. She revealed that she often uses her own gift cards from places like Target and Costco to buy necessities for our family instead of treating herself. She assumed I would be okay with using mine the same way, not considering it my money anymore once it was in the account. I realized that my mistake was loading all the gift cards into the account at once, making it easy for her to use them without thinking twice. We agreed that in the future, she would ask before using any of my gift card balances, and I would only input them as I needed them. However, the conversation took a negative turn when I mentioned feeling guilty about buying things for myself when it comes out of our pocket. She accused me of being selfish and not considering our family's needs. The discussion escalated, and we both said things we regret. The next day, I discovered that she had gone ahead and set up her own Amazon account, linking it to our Prime membership. While this solves the gift card issue, it feels like a passive-aggressive move. She's been distant and cold towards me, and I can't help but feel like this incident has driven a wedge between us. Looking back, I realized that my frugal nature and tendency to manage our finances closely may have contributed to this problem. I've always been the one to watch our budget, and perhaps I've been too controlling. My wife's decision to use her gift cards for family necessities without telling me suggests that she feels I would disapprove of her spending money on herself. This whole situation has brought to light some deeper issues in our relationship that we need to address. I'm starting to see how my actions and attitudes towards money have affected my wife and our dynamic. It's clear that we need to work on our communication and find a better balance when it comes to our finances and personal spending. I'm hoping that with time and effort, we can move past this and strengthen our relationship. But for now, the tension is evident, and I can't help but feel like I've damaged the trust between us. I'm determined to make things right, but I know it won't be easy. Thanks again for reading and for your support. It means a lot to have a place to share my thoughts and get some outside perspective. Am I the idiot for limiting my in-laws' visits after they lied about my son's injury? My wife, 34 years old, and I, 37 years old, have been married for 4 years and have 2 little boys, 3 years old and 1-year-old. Both of our kids have had their fair share of minor health issues. Multiple ear infections that led to ear tubes in our 3-year-old, flu, RSV, HFM, etc. It has been a lot in a few short years, and sometimes I genuinely wonder how we have made it through. My brother has a running joke that we are single-handedly putting our pediatrician's kids through college. We both have family nearby to help, which has been a lifesaver at times. This past weekend, my wife's mom and stepdad offered to take the boys to a nearby park to give us a break for a couple of hours. When they got back to our house, our 1-year-old was crying and upset, and they told us he just seemed really tired and/or hungry. My in-laws made some jokes about us not letting them watch the kids again, then left. And we got the kids some food and put them down for a nap. When the 1-year-old woke up, he still seemed out of it and was unable to put weight on his left leg. At this point, we knew something was up, so we took him to urgent care. On the way there, my wife called her mom to ask her if anything happened, and she said he might have had a fall on one of the slides. The doctors ended up doing an x-ray and found a minor spiral fracture. So now he's in a cast, but thankfully won't require surgery. The doctor even told us these types of fractures are common in kids my son's age, and even called it a toddler's fracture. We again called my in-laws to try and get more info, but they, at least to me, seemed to dance around our questions. A couple days ago, I took our 3-year-old to the same park and asked him what happened to his little brother. He said that his brother was on the slide with grandma, but slid down by himself, fell off the end, went boom and got an owie. I told my wife about this and we called her mom again. We told her what our 3-year-old said and asked her what happened. She said that what our 3-year-old said isn't true, but didn't give us a straight answer as to how our 1-year-old got hurt. At this point, I had enough and ended up going off on them. I told them I feel like they are trickle-truthing us or straight up lying about what happened. I told them that they either know exactly how our son got hurt and aren't telling us, or they don't know what happened because they weren't paying attention. I told them neither are acceptable, and I have lost all trust in them. I told them that by withholding information, they put our son's health at risk, and I will never tolerate that. Stepdad asked if I am believing a 3-year-old over them, and I told them I 100% am. My wife ended the call abruptly when she thought I was going too far. We ended arguing about it because she thinks I am blaming her mom for an accident and that I shouldn't be calling them liars about this. I told her I don't want her mom and stepdad to watch either of our kids unsupervised under any circumstances, which she disagrees with. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. Unlike the other comment, I don't think you are overreacting for wanting to know how your 1-year-old son broke his leg. This is your child, and you are able to make decisions about who you feel safe with your child being around. I don't believe that your in-laws did anything necessarily irresponsible while watching your son, but the fact that they deny any responsibility, call your son a liar, and refuse to tell you what happened is certainly odd. And if it makes you not want to have them watch your sons anymore, I think that is a fair reaction. Comment 2, not the idiot you had me at, they said we might not want them to watch the kids anymore. She knew he was hurt, knew how he got hurt, and knew why the poor guy was bawling his eyes out. And instead of being an adult, she lied to you. What if this was a worse injury? These people are still lying to your faces. Limiting unsupervised visits while they are actively lying to you is a start. But you need to sit down and have a calm conversation with your wife and examine her relationship with her mother. You're about to be in a test of loyalties. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the comments and support on my last post. It's been a tough few days since then, and I've got some updates to share. So after the whole blow up with my in-laws, things have been pretty tense around here. My wife and I haven't really been seeing eye to eye on how to handle the situation. She thinks I was too harsh on her mom and stepdad, but I just can't shake the feeling that they're not telling us the whole truth about what happened to our little guy. Anyway, a couple days ago, my wife decided to take the boys over to her parents' house for a visit. I wasn't thrilled about the idea, but she insisted that they needed to see their grandkids and that it would be good for everyone to try and move past this. I reluctantly agreed, but only if she promised to keep a close eye on the kids the whole time. Well, apparently during the visit, our 3-year-old started talking about the incident at the park again. According to my wife, he told her mom that he saw Grandma let go of his little brother's hand at the top of the slide, and that's when he fell off and got hurt. My mother-in-law got really defensive and started arguing with our 3-year-old, telling him that's not what happened and that he must be remembering it wrong. When my wife told me about this, I hit the roof. I couldn't believe that they would try to gaslight our kid like that, especially after everything that's happened. I told my wife that I didn't want the boys going over there anymore, period. She got upset and said I was overreacting, but I put my foot down. I just don't trust them to be honest with us or to prioritize our kids' safety. The next day, my wife's stepdad showed up at our house unannounced. He said he wanted to clear the air and explain what really happened at the park. Apparently, he and my mother-in-law had been arguing right before the incident, and she was distracted and not paying attention to our 1-year-old. He said she feels terrible about it and has been too ashamed to admit what happened. I appreciated him coming forward, but it didn't change my stance on them watching the kids unsupervised. I told him that I understood mistakes happen, but that they need to be upfront with us about this stuff, especially when it comes to our kids' well-being. He seemed to get it, but I could tell he was still a little defensive about the whole thing. Since then, things have been pretty awkward with my in-laws. They've been reaching out to my wife, trying to smooth things over, but I'm just not ready to let it go yet. I know they love our kids, but I need to be able to trust that they'll always put their safety first, no matter what. As for our little guy, he's doing okay. He's getting used to the cast and has been pretty resilient through all of this. It breaks my heart to see him hurt, but I'm just grateful it wasn't anything more serious. I know this whole situation has been tough on my wife too. She's always been really close with her mom, and I know it's hard for her to be caught in the middle like this. I'm trying to be supportive and understanding, but I also need her to have my back when it comes to protecting our kids. Anyway, that's where things are at right now. It's been a stressful few days, and I'm not sure how it's all going to play out. I just hope we can find a way to move forward that puts our kids' needs first, even if it means setting some tough boundaries with family. Thanks for letting me vent, everyone. It helps to know we're not alone in dealing with this kind of stuff. Am I the idiot for refusing to let my sister claim credit for the birthday gift I bought our dad? Throwaway account, little backstory. My sister, 27-year-old female, and I, 24-year-old male, used to live together, but she moved her boyfriend, 28-year-old male, in. I got a good paying job in that time frame, so I decided to get my own place so that those two can have their space. Around 3-4 months ago, my sister's boyfriend got laid off from a company office job he's had for a while. Since then, though, he's refused to even apply for a new job, whether it's due to pride, depression, or just downright laziness. But he's been living off my sister now, and as much as I and my family tell her he's a grown man who shouldn't get to live off her forever, she won't do anything to change the situation and has been paying all the bills. There's not really much I can do there if my sister doesn't want the help. I send her some cash if she's in a tight spot for gas, but I'm not going to pay for my sister's boyfriend to sit on the couch. Anyway, back to the point. My sister has a lot less money now since she's paying for two. She complains all the time about not having any money for herself, but it pretty much falls on deaf ears because she won't listen to our advice and poking. My dad's birthday is tomorrow, and he's been really excited about his new hobby of sports card collecting. He's been talking for a while about buying this one complete set of baseball cards, but he's short on cash. I bought it for him. I'm planning on giving it to him tomorrow at his birthday dinner, but my sister somehow found out I bought it for him this morning and has since been begging me to say it's from her. I don't have any money to get him anything, and I don't want to disappoint him, is what she's been saying. She also suggested that I pay for his dinner bill, and I can say that's my gift to him. Am I the idiot for saying hell no? Update 1. I took some advice from you all, and I drove over and gave the gift to my dad before we all gear up to go to dinner. He was very appreciative. We hugged it out, and he thanked me. He did ask me why I was giving it to him early, as my mom had told him about me planning to give it to him at the dinner. I didn't tell him it's because of my sister and her potential blowout, because I don't want him to have to deal with it all during his birthday. So I just said I wanted it to be a me and him kind of thing, not a me, him, and a bunch of strangers kind of thing. Just waiting to see how the night will play out now. My dad got called into a work thing, so we have to go to the dinner late. My sister doesn't know I've given it to him yet, though I did tell her I'm not saying it's from her, and asked her please to not try to make it a big thing while we're out with Dad. We haven't gone to dinner, so I'll update again after. Update 2. Sister didn't say anything negative on the way to dinner, but she switched seats with her boyfriend when she realized we were going to sit together. Mom paid for Dad and sister because sister had told her prior to the dinner she couldn't afford to pay for both her and her boyfriend. Sister was nice to my dad and apologized for not being able to get him anything. Father repeatedly told her he didn't care about that, and he's just happy she's there. Sister made a comment about my gift and said she was really wanting to buy it, but I got to it first. Father just shrugged and said it was okay again that she didn't buy anything, and it's not about that. She didn't make a scene after that, and we kissed and hugged Mom and Dad bye and went back to our houses. As soon as I walked in the door to my house, my sister called me. I was waiting for her to scream and cry about the sibling code, but it wasn't that. She apologized. She said she's really stressed and she wasn't thinking clearly. She would never have taken credit for something so nice that wasn't hers, and she said she honestly has no idea what's going on with her. So I took the mass of your advice, and I told her that her problem was with her boyfriend. I told her I can't keep sending her money, even though it's $20 every 2-3 weeks. I told her I can't keep letting her think I'm okay with being her cop-out. I didn't tell her to kick her boyfriend out, though, because I knew she'd stop listening if I went there. But I told her that I started with good intentions, but didn't know just how much I was really hurting it, and that I cannot help her out when we both know that it's hurting a lot more than it's helping. She said she knows. She said she's trying, and I told her I love her, and that she can't keep letting life walk all over her. I don't know if it'll make a difference. We've had conversations like this before, and it hasn't yet. But she apologized, and she hasn't self-reflected like that in a while. Maybe that's a first step. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. You picked out a thoughtful gift that was within your budget. Life is long, and people go from having good finances to not so great finances throughout it. But you can always put thought and care into a gift, even if you don't have the money for it. Your sister needs to also pick out a thoughtful gift that's within her budget. Comment 2, not the idiot. That's pretty bold of her. She's taught her boyfriend that he can be a moochy waste of space, and she'll cover his butt. You're teaching her you're not going to bail her out for her own poor decision. If you give in now, it'll teach her you'll do it in the future. I think the gas money is enough of a contribution. Now for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for reading my last post and for all the great advice you gave me. It's been a tense 3 months since then, and I've got quite the update for you. So after that whole birthday dinner fiasco with my sister, things started to change. She actually took my words to heart and began to stand up for herself more. She had a long talk with her boyfriend and laid down some ground rules. She told him that he needed to start contributing to the household expenses and actively looking for a job, or else he'd have to find somewhere else to live. At first, he seemed to be making an effort. He started applying for jobs and even landed a few interviews. But as the weeks went by, it became clear that his heart wasn't really in it. He'd come up with excuses for why he couldn't make it to interviews, or why he didn't think a particular job was a good fit. Meanwhile, my sister was still struggling to make ends meet. She was working overtime at her job just to keep the bills paid, and I could see the stress taking a toll on her. She looked exhausted all the time, and she hardly ever had time to hang out with me or our parents anymore. Things came to a head about a month ago when my sister found out that her boyfriend had been lying to her about his job search. Turns out, he hadn't been applying for jobs at all. He'd just been telling her what she wanted to hear while he continued to sit around the house all day. My sister was furious. She kicked him out on the spot and told him not to come back until he had a job and could pay his own way. It was a tough decision for her, but I was proud of her for standing up for herself. Since then, things have been slowly getting better for my sister. She's still working a lot, but without her boyfriend's expenses to worry about, she's been able to start saving a little money. She's even talking about going back to school to finish her degree. As for me, I've been doing my best to be there for her. I've been helping out with groceries and other expenses when I can, and I've been making sure to check in on her regularly. It's not always easy, but I know she appreciates the support. Looking back, I realize that a lot of my sister's struggles can be traced back to our childhood. Our parents always had high expectations for us, and my sister always felt like she had to be perfect. She was the straight-A student, the star athlete, the one who never got in trouble. But all that pressure took a toll on her, and I think that's part of why she stayed with her boyfriend for so long. She was afraid of disappointing everyone by admitting that things weren't working out. I wish I had realized sooner how much she was struggling, but I'm glad I was able to be there for her when she needed me. And I'm hopeful that, with time and support, she'll be able to build a better life for herself. Anyway, that's the update for now. Thanks again for all your advice and support. It really means a lot to me and my sister. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.